our studios and discuss issues of national concern. Now, this morning, I'm going to be handling a very interesting topic, but also treading on thorns, I must say, because I'm going to be political, not political, I must say. So the topic we are focusing on women participation in the upcoming general elections. Now in Uganda, when you're talking about elections, you know, you're shaking a table that has very expensive drinks. But we are shaking the table this time for good reasons, because we are looking at women participation. And the person I have happens to be a government official. So I can't even dance on that table. Now join me, welcome my guest this morning, who is the Commissioner, Compliancy and Enforcement, Equal Opportunities Commission. And that is James Mugisha. You're most welcome, sir.
Thank you so much, Chirabo. I'm happy to be at UBC this morning. And as you said, it's a cold morning. All roads are actually blocked. There is too much traffic because of the little weather that has affected our roads. But I'm happy to be here nonetheless.
Now, a simple question. I just want to get your opinion. When we see now a lot of traffic on our roads, cars definitely, would we say it is a sign of development that we have so many cars and we have so many jam? Or is it managing success a challenge? Or it is under development that we can have jam in the 21st century this much simply because it has rained?
Well, it's two-way. You can say that it's development because right now it's easy to acquire a vehicle in Uganda, unlike those days. And I think we need to thank the current regime for that. It is easily accessible. If you're in employment, you want a car, you just walk in any bond and you acquire a vehicle, then you start paying. That's why we have very many vehicles on the road. The only challenge that we are having, most of our roads are not very passable. That's where we need to work hard. But as you can see, there is too much road work going on in all parts of the city. So we can say that it's development, and we appreciate that as Ugandans.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get your thoughts on that, because it's one of the things that sometimes comes on my mind as I look at how our country is moving forward. But I end up concluding that we have a problem called managing success.
Managing success.
Managing success is a very big challenge that we must look up to. Now, away from that, I know now you're glued on your set, and let's dive deep into the topic. But I want our viewer to understand, when you talk about the Equal Opportunities Commission, where are you coming from? Where you're the Commissioner, Compliancy and Enforcement. What is this commission all about?
Yeah, the Equal Opportunities Commission came into play because this is a constitutional body which came into existence in 2007. When you read our article, the Article 32 from the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, it shows you why the Equal Opportunities Commission was really, really necessary to be here. There was a lot of marginalization, there was a lot of discrimination previously. And when these guys came into power in 1986, and they were trying to come up with the constitution, they said, for us to clean up this country, to eliminate the tendencies that we have, because people are discriminated on very many bases. People are discriminated on gender, people are discriminated on political inclination, people are discriminated on the geographical background, people are discriminated on sex, on the type of on the color. If you are a Muyindi, you don't have a say here. You remember what happened during Ahida Means. So people were being disturbed. So what they did, they said, let's have an independent body called Equal Opportunities Commission. Others were arguing, why don't we put it in Human Rights Commission? Others were saying, why don't we have Minister of Gender to lead this? They said, no, we need an independent body that is going to address this gap. And as we talk right now, since 2010, Equal Opportunities Commission has been in play. And the members of the commission are appointed by His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda. They are 5. Every member represents a category. We have somebody representing persons with disability, somebody representing the youth, a member representing women, and a member representing men, and a member representing older persons. So those are the 5 members of the commission. So all those special interest groups are represented, and their views are taken into account when we are doing our mandate. How do we do our mandate? As Equal Opportunities Commission, those members of the commission that are appointed by His Excellency, they have a tribunal. Cases of discrimination and marginalization that are registered with the Equal Opportunities Commission are addressed by those members. And you don't need to pay any coin for your case to be addressed. You just walk in, register your complaints, and within 6 months, your complaint should have been resolved. So we've handled cases related to land disputes. We have handled cases from these employees that are discriminated based on those issues I mentioned. We've handled very, very many cases on land, on job. There are those ones that are actually they are employed, but they don't have appointment letters. So you walk into an organization, especially these sugar factories, they employ people and they don't give them appointment letters. So anytime they want you to walk out, they chase you. If you get pregnant and they don't want you, they just say walk out. So we've handled such cases. And apart from that, as Equal Opportunities Commission, we also look into the budgets. Each and every budget that is owned by a ministry or department or any government agency, Equal Opportunities Commission has to make sure that we go through those budgets before they are presented to Parliament, and we make sure that they are gender and equity compliant. So Equal Opportunities Commission also has another mandate of producing a report. We call it the State of Equal Opportunities in Uganda. That is statutory. If you have been observant, you've seen the members of the commission presenting that report to the President of Uganda. It gives us the status on how we are faring as a country in terms of equal opportunities. So in brief, that's about Equal Opportunities Commission.
Well, okay, the budget, but also the marginalized, having where they can run to. Now on that I want to also, and I know our viewer, where is the power of this commission?
Yeah, the power of this commission, it's...
your limitations, your strength. If I bring a matter to you, that maybe someone doesn't have an appointment letter, you've talked about land, and you have a duration of 6 months. Where do you, do you work as a court? Do you work as the Uganda Human Rights Commission that will make a report, you know?
Yeah, Equal Opportunities Commission work like a court. We have powers of court. As Equal Opportunities Commission, we can order you to come to our offices. We can arrest if you don't adhere. We can summon, and when we hear those complaints, we give judgment based on what we have done. The best alternative, the best method that we have been using through our tribunals is alternative dispute resolutions. We try to make sure that we reconcile the two bodies that are not moving at the same pace. So we want to use that method to make sure that we avoid that. And being the fact that we don't charge, so we make sure that we handle those people that are most vulnerable, that cannot afford to go to these formal courts. So that's how we've been handling our complaints in the Equal Opportunities Commission.
Now, going to today's topic, women's participation in the coming elections. Let's first look at the status of women in elective politics. How are we doing as a country?
Yeah, as Uganda, we are doing very well. We've come from far. When you see the history, before the NRM came into power, the representation of women in leadership positions in politics was very, very low. But with NRM coming to power, there has been a steady progress, and all this is through the affirmative action that was put in place. You very well know that each and every district is represented in parliament by a member of woman. And as we talk right now, the percentage of women in parliament is at 33%, which is not bad, but we haven't reached where we need to be. And
the percentage we are at in terms of women?
In terms of women, we are at 33% in parliament. So giving a total of 189 women in parliament out of 556. so gives us 33%. So that means that there is some progress made, but a lot needs to be done. You know, by population, women are more than men. So would expect even more women to be in parliament than even men. But even that one that we have, we appreciate because we've come a long way. That is the beauty, that at least there is some representation now, but we need to move a step higher in that regard.
Now, talking about moving a step higher, let's first look at what have been the barriers, the hindrances. 33% is not a bad number, but in an exam, that is a good fail.
Yeah.
So what are some of the factors that have hindered massively participation of women in politics?
There are very many reasons why women are not participating in politics. Based on our cultural norms, you know, stereotypes, we think that a woman was made to do household work. That has been the thinking, which is very, very bad. We look at women as inferior, that if you give her a position, she's not going to perform. But experience has shown that women are very good leaders. If you see now that the ones we have, if you can see the Prime Minister, the Vice President, they are all vibrant, and when you give them a chance, they'll participate. But more factors that has been failing them, among others, is economical. Women do not have access to resources. A woman does not own land. A woman has no money, and this one comes from the top going even to down. So when you say that for you to compete, to become a member of parliament, you must deposit 3 million. Most women cannot afford that. For you to, you know, our politics have been commercialized. For you to compete with the men, you must have some little money to at least pay your supervisors, to pay for your those people who are helping you, even to prepare tea for people who are coming for your meetings. So it's an expensive venture whereby you find most women cannot afford that, and that one limits them to participate equivalently. I forgot to tell you that the 189 in parliament, those ones that are directly elected on a constituency that they have competed with men, they are only 14. Those that can say that for us, we tussled it out. I came and I competed with Mr. Chirabo here in a constituency and I trounced him down. They are only 14. The other percentage, they are on affirmative action. That tells you that... Which
is ring-fenced, that a man cannot become a district woman member of parliament.
Exactly.
Definitely it's a woman for that position and affirmative action.
Yeah.
But when you go this side, where it is open, though also sometimes men feel now that is also their area, women have their slot. Why are they attacking us this side to compete with us? But when you say only 14,
it's a small
out of the 557 seats, it makes it really a big challenge.
Exactly. There are other factors that affect women. Of course, there is us men sitting on them most of the time. If you are married and your woman tells you, I'm going to be a member of parliament, there are those fears that come, who is going to take care of these children, who is going to stay home. So you find us men are blocking them from effectively participating.
Yes.
And that is not very, very good for us, because we've seen women who are actually doing well in their homes, and they are participating in politics, and they are working well, and it's a very good progress for us as a country.
Now, the Equal Opportunities Commission. Here you are fighting for the vulnerable, marginalized, these specific groups. That's your fundamental duty. What are you doing about this 32% representation that is in parliament? But remember, also have other elective positions that where we believe many women maybe would be in these positions of responsibility as a commission.
Yeah, as the Equal Opportunities Commission, we found out that actually the challenge is not those ones on the higher level. We want to start with the grassroots. We've been there. We are training councillors. We are at the lower local, these sub-counties, trying to engage. You know, somebody can come from the sub-county level, compete, go to the district level, compete, and end up in parliament. We've seen such examples. If you see the current Prime Minister, where she came from, if you see our Honorable Chairperson of Equal Opportunities Commission, she has been a member of parliament for the last 15 years before coming to Equal Opportunities Commission as the chairperson, Honorable Safia Narule. She was at one time a councillor here at KCCA. representing persons with disabilities. So when you keep engaging those women at local levels, those vulnerable persons, the disability, and you show them, you give them information, because some of them lack access to this information. Right now there is a roadmap for NRM to start selecting their leaders, but most women are not aware. Persons with disabilities are not aware. So we need to do that sensitization, we need to motivate them, we need to encourage them so that they come out and start competing. So if you start from the sub-county and you see that you have performed well, now you want to move to another level. Now you want to go to the district. From the district, you find yourself in parliament. And that's how we've been doing it. We go to these sub-regions and engage women. We go to districts and engage women. We engage persons with disabilities. Even ethnic minorities, we tell them that you have a right as a Ugandan to compete, so that we give them same equal opportunities to participate and come out and represent their constituents. Yes.
Very interesting regarding the Equal Opportunities Commission, what they do as we gear up for the coming general elections, focusing on women's participation. How are women faring? And when it comes to parliament, the percentage is not that very interesting. Not even 40% of the seats in parliament are occupied by women, despite the fact that a woman can compete direct and under affirmative action. Now, what happens when we look at direct? Only 17 members of parliament, meaning they competed for a seat that is not ring-fenced for women. Majority of the women there in parliament, the honorables, have come on affirmative action, meaning they are district women representatives. So if it meant that that position was also open, definitely it can't be. So the men can't contest for that. And that is why we are seeing many of them come out. But where they have to compete with men, I think the percentage is not even 10%. It is in negatives. 14 out of 557 members of parliament. Now that speaks volumes. We are still seeing, what is the Equal Opportunities Commission doing? And my guest said, focus is on grassroots level to see how best they can empower these women. But of course, some of the factors he noted are also very valid that are keeping women still in the back seat. Let me go for a very short break. When I return, I still have my guest, and we'll still be discussing more regarding women affairs and their participation in politics.
Great.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Junko.
Yo.
Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model, PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Junko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Buza Commissioner, enhancing tax education and bringing it closer to the taxpayers. Many Ugandans have questions about the taxes they pay to URA.
When we come at revenue, they tell us to clear Chitenge at 10,000. And when we are selling Chitenge, we sell it at 17. So we don't know whether we are working or not.
Understanding your tax obligations can help you grow your business and avoid unnecessary losses. Now, you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887, and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Booza Commissioner.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Welcome back from that break, and thank you so much for keeping it with us on UBC TV. I'm with our commissioner from the Equal Opportunities Commission, James Sings, with whom we are focusing on women participation in the upcoming elections. But of course, looking at where we are now, what are still some of the challenges, and how have we enabled more participation, or have we stagnated? Now, before we went for the break, we had looked at parliamentary level.
Yeah.
Now, we want us to look at lower local government levels. Of course, now, every time, there's nothing hot selling in this country like politics. One elective position, you'll be shocked of how many people will vie for that position.
Yeah.
But you want to see the women participation. How are they performing at lower levels?
Thank you, Mr. Chirabo. Equal Opportunities Commission actually has done a study on women in politics, and the picture at our local government is actually even worse. If you go to the LC5 chairpersons, 2.6% are women. That means 97% almost are men. When you look at the speaker at the district, that's where they have improved. It's around 16% women. When you go directly now to LC1, 3% are women. LC2, around 6%. LC3, also around 3.6%. So you see that there is a very, very big challenge. But when you go to those affirmative action positions, the women are there. When you say secretary for women, you will have them, because that one is a protected vote.
Yes,
but when you say that you compete and become LC5 chairperson, or the mayor here, the road mayor, ever since I came to Kampala, I have never seen a road mayor that is a lady. I
was trying to look through.
Yes.
And I'm not seeing any John Sebana Chizito, Nasa, Ntege, Elias Lukwago.
Yes.
We had, I don't see a...
And the constitution gives powers and rights for everyone to compete, but you see that they are not coming up. So we still need more affirmative action to bring more women on board, and they can make good leaders. So if you see the districts, we have 135 districts, we have 10 cities, but moving around, only 2.6 out of 135 districts, it means that you have only 2.6%. It's a very low participation. And it goes down to these other areas. So that means that women are not participating. Persons with disabilities, they only come up when it's their protected area, using the affirmative action, and that's the only chance they have to be leaders. But should it be like that? And the reasons I've given you, they are the same reason that stop those ones also in the local governments, because for you to become LC5 chairperson, you have to canvass the entire district. That means you need fuel, that means that you need agents, that means you need posters, and women do not have access to such. So that brings them not to go in. When we were doing this study, a certain lady in Budaka, she said, I would have loved to be an LC5 chairperson, but I do not have that money to put in. The little money that I have here from my gardens, I have to make sure that I pay school fees for my son to go to school. So you see their reasons are valid. If she had money, she would come up and compete. So those are the voices that we've been picking when you go to the lower locals, to those levels, and you find that they cannot compete because of such reasons.
And day by day, politics is ceasing to be for the poor. Don't take me wrong, but I'm trying to be very real. You're not going to go in any form of election, and you're not going to spend in this country now. Gone are those days. was looking at one of the research, I think it was by Afrobarometer, and was showing how much various, no, there's an institution, I'll just check the name, I have it in my notebook, that looks at how many, it has done a survey of how much Ugandans spend on elective politics. For you to become a member of parliament, how much you need. Darling, if you don't have 500 million shillings. For being a member of parliament, forget how you raise that money. Now, LC5, still you're not less than 100 million.
Yeah.
Look at the posters, look at the fuel, look at the gadgets you're going to use for the campaign rallies, the musicians that are going to come. Those, man, politics has ceased to be for the poor. Even in schools, I'm shocked now.
Yeah.
Young children campaigning and the father, the mother has to cough something.
Yeah.
There is a way we've commercialized and taken our politics to, yes, you must inject. You don't have 3 million Uganda shillings. This is official money.
A registration fees.
Registration fee. Now, for some parties, you have even internal politics that requires you money, that requires you to campaign.
Yeah.
So now, when we go to the people that the Equal Opportunities Commission, the 5 categories of people, actually the 4, because the men now exclude that one.
Yeah.
The male exclude. The 5 categories: persons with disabilities, women.
Youth.
How many women or youth in this country can raise freely 3 million? Just to, you know, I either make it or not, but I've given it there. And it's not refundable.
No, non-refundable.
So, I really feel when it comes to women, but also let's ask ourselves, of what use has affirmative action been to women participation in politics? I always ask myself, okay, fine. We have female members of parliament on affirmative action.
Yeah.
We have at local councils, every position ring-fenced. Secretary for Women from LC1,
Yes.
Secretary for Women, LC2, whatever elective position, there is that slot for women. Commissioner, apart from people occupying seats, you, like Opportunities Commission, of what benefit? Because we may be craving for more participation, we are spending on these people.
Yeah.
Politics is expensive by government, spending, paying. But is there a value for money? Are we finding any value? Or is it us being content that, look, we have more women in parliament, we have more women occupying positions? What is the value?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I can assure you that women in parliament, women on any position, they have created a very, very, very big impact for this nation. If I tell you that right now, I've told you that Equal Opportunities Commission is mandated to assess all budgets. What are we looking out for in these budgets? For anyone to develop, you need a budget. You need a plan. So the system that we are using right now, had it not been the influence of women in parliament to say that there should be a certificate of compliance for gender and equity, then that means the budget should be blind, not looking into the issues of women. That's number one. And I can assure you that the current chairperson, she was in parliament. She participated actively with other players, women, to make sure that for any government to receive a budget, they should have a certificate to show that they actually have planned for issues of children. In their budget, we see issues of women, youth, issues of older persons. And that is a certificate that each and every agency, before going to parliament, they must attach it to their budget, say that our budget was assessed by Equal Opportunities Commission and scored. We even score those budgets. If you score less than 50%, your budget means that it is low standard. You need to do something. You have to make sure that you come back to Equal Opportunities Commission and we show you that these areas are not budgeted for. You have not looked at issues of women. We don't see issues of immunization in your budget. We want those things to be considered for. Because if you say this budget is for Ugandans, then it should be addressing issues that affect us as Ugandans. So that's number one. Number two, women in parliament, they have worked on the constitution. They have put in laws that actually help us as all Ugandans. Previously, the succession, when you die before leaving a will, you find the boys taking the lion's share, their father's property, they own and kick out the women. But right now, any child takes the same share. And that's women talking. They said, if I was born by Mr. Mugisha, I am a girl, and he has also boys, the children will take equal shares from Mugisha. But previously it was no. The girls, they only take the house and a small piece of land near the house where they can get banana leaves. The rest of the junk of the land, give it to men, which was very unfair. Now that is women. They have influenced, actually they are the role models of these young girls growing up. If you do not have figure person in your life, it means that you are not looking up to something. And I can assure you that Uganda in Africa is the 6th on issues of participation. And of course we cannot beat Rwanda. Rwanda has over 80% of women in parliament, so it's number 1. I don't know whether it's number 1 in the entire world, but in Africa, Kigali, Rwanda is doing well. But I can assure you with the NRM, we are the 6th. We are not doing bad as a country. But when you say 33%, you see that it's not very good. So these women in parliament, they have influenced, they have done good lobbying so that we come up as a country to be on the right track. Even at an international level, when there are treaties that Uganda is party to, when you go to SDGs, there are those, the Sustainable Development Goals. There are those ones that are set at international level, like gender equality. If you are not complying very well as a country with those indicators, it means that you are not doing well. Uganda, we are performing well. Reason, we have women that are in very representative positions. And the impact goes down also to those local councils where we talked about. You go to the district, you find there is a council, and women bring out their views, except there are those ones that are completely, that cannot express themselves. So there's one district which I know, I will not mention it for purposes of protecting their image. The women, for them, they were, those days, their responsibility was to say, when they have brought a bill to be discussed, for them their role was to second. They not participate in the discussions, they only come to second and put up their hand to be counted. But that one, as we go training, they have come out and we have reduced those challenges, so they are coming up. Even what has been hindering them, most of them, is also mode of communication. In those local councils, they debate in English. And majority of them, I don't know whether you saw them on their swearing in. They have been playing fun of them on social media. I heavenly swear, they cannot speak good English. But if you tell them that you debate in your local languages, yes, you'll see them perform. So that is also another challenge that we need to address. Those local councils, how can we help them to debate in the language they understand? Because English is a foreign language, and it becomes hard for them to debate effectively. But I can assure you, women have played a very, very vital role in leadership, and they have played a very, very, very big role to motivate others, and also to bring in laws that are actually equal opportunities in nature, to make sure that everyone is inclusive as far as Uganda is concerned.
Do you think that the Commission has done enough? If not so, what factors are hindering you? When you talked about a certificate of compliance, when you look at government ministries, government bodies, parastatals, and all that, and there are some questions running in my mind. If I look at the budgets of some institutions that pass through and you grant them certification, that yes, there's a spirit of compliance, give money. And I was looking at some issues that are affecting women. For example, when you talk about women in the education sector, yes, they got our point. That is affirmative action.
Yeah, the 1.5?
The 1.5. Yes, we would say now at the numbers, PLE, if I think two consecutive years, if my records serve me right, which indeed they do, the number of girls has been more than the number of boys. When you go to Makerere, the last graduation, girls were more compared to the boys. But many girls don't make it because of simply lack of sanitary towels. Many girls, COVID, I don't know where we had, if it was an area of, or an eye opener, many girls are getting pregnant. When you go to our courts, the judiciary, I want to tell you, many people that defile these young girls go scot-free. The process is very tedious. Many of them are there roaming, many girls. And I was asking myself, where is the Equal Opportunities Commission fighting for these women? Many would be speakers of parliament, may never make it. So are you doing enough?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chirabo. Of course, it's work in progress. As you've heard, Equal Opportunities is just only 12 years old, and Uganda has been here.
That is a decade and 2 years.
Yes. It's young. When you compare it with the entire nation, it's a young institution. But the work that has been done speaks volumes, because I can assure you that previously a budget would be a budget. You don't need to know what it's doing. But Equal Opportunities goes into detail. We never had, for instance, ambulances on water bodies. Women would be dying on islands. But with Equal Opportunities Commission, with its gender lens, said, wait, if you are procuring, when we say go and buy ambulances, which ambulances are you buying? Only motorable ambulances on the road. What about people on the islands? So Equal Opportunities, when we are looking at the Ministry of Health budget, we need to see those issues. We need to see, have you budgeted to buy ambulances for people on water bodies? Those are the areas that we look at. If we go to other areas, these roads, do you know that there is a gender requirement for each and every road? That you must make a road. Those roads that are being made in rural areas that are heaped like this. When a truck carrying charcoal comes, you are a woman on a border going to the dispensary, it will sweep you into the trench. So we are advising even the Ministry of Works, when they are making roads, we need such roads that can be user-friendly for all. Are there zebra crossings, and are they in practice? So Equal Opportunities goes into detail to make sure that each and every budget has a gender perspective, and those are the issues that we are looking up to. So I cannot tell you that we can do this in 1 year. It's work in progress. Viewing all the budgets, it's a huge amount of work to do, but we keep on doing. The gender-based violence is a very, very big challenge, as you've mentioned. We've seen the percentages going high in this country, but as Equal Opportunities Commission, we are not seated. We are working. We are working with other stakeholders to make sure that we reduce such occurrences in the country. As I was coming here, I was told that the head of human resource of Uganda Hospital died because of gender-based violence. They are suffering, and these are the ambassadors that we should be having. Now a woman at the level of human resource manager dying in such case of gender-based violence, you see that we still have a lot of work to do as a country. So there are very many cases that are hindering women. You've talked of those children of who cannot afford sanitary pads. It's a big challenge, but the country is saying no, we want equal access to education for all, and they are improving day by day. You find that every challenge is being addressed. So the enrollment at the university, yes, it's high. But where are they? If you say that we still have 33% in parliament, it means that we still need more affirmative action. Yes, the 1.5 has helped. There is that enrollment and increasement, but what about in employment? Do we have those women joining employment? So that means that we still need to do a lot of work to have many women joining universities, joining employment, so that you find that they are competing favorably with men.
Well, favorably with men, competing favorably with men, because that is what we want, that as long as we are all Ugandans, have that conducive environment that enables each and every person, regardless of their gender. Now, the upcoming election, as the Equal Opportunities Commission, do you anticipate, or have you prepared ground for more women participation away from those key places where they come with the affirmative action plan? Are we yet to see more women 2026 in politics, hustling, tackling it out with the men, or are we still going to see this more? What do you anticipate? Or as a commission, have you said you carry out a number of research. What is the ground likely to be 2026?
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Chirabo. The 2026, we are calling upon all women because they have the qualities. We are advocating for them. We are working with them. We are down there in those regions, encouraging them to make sure that they come on the ballot paper. except there are those challenges that I told you that are still disturbing them in terms of resources. You know, we already have a petition from the youth that for them to, they cannot compete for the presidency because of the fee that was tagged onto to become a president of this nation. So we still have such hindrances, but come 2026, we are calling upon all women. We are working with them in our work, in the regions, in the districts, involving them, giving them, empowering them to make sure that they come up and compete favorably so that they can participate. We hope the percentage is going to increase, at least from the current 33, at least it goes a little bit higher, to 35 or even 40, God willing.
God willing. Yes. Well, I can't wait what 2026 would be when it comes to women participation in politics. Don't forget, politics is one of the most expensive ventures in this country, but also one of the most paying ventures in this country. You become a member of parliament, well, so much will change automatically. You become a mayor, chairperson, LC5, district chairperson, district woman representative. Oh, we celebrate you, because also the pockets celebrate. So that is one area you're going to invest so much, but of course the outcomes indeed are also very interesting in terms of very lavish and flash at the same time. But how do women get there is what we've been discussing with James this morning on women's participation in politics. Now, James, as we move out of here, what is your parting shot to women out there in terms of their participation into politics?
Thank you, Mr. Chirabo. Not only women, but we call upon the youth, we call upon the persons with disability, the ethnic minorities. Yes.
The Batwa.
The Batwa, the Ike. There are very many. We have over 25 ethnic minorities in Uganda, and they are not represented anywhere on any fora. So we call upon them to make sure that they don't lag behind. They come and be on the forefront. They come and show cause. They shouldn't stay behind, because their views, if they don't come out, no one is going to represent them. And we are going to work with them as Equal Opportunities Commission. We pledge our support. We pledge to be there to help them in case they are discriminated or marginalized on any grounds. Equal Opportunities Commission doors are open to address those challenges. In case they are affected by gender-based violence, Equal Opportunities Commission is there for them. Let them come out, let them come and register complaints, and we shall see how we can work with them to make sure that come 2026, they are on the ballot paper and they are representing views of their people. That's what we can promise as Equal Opportunities Commission.
Well, I want to thank you so much, James Mugisha from the Equal Opportunities Commission, that is compliance and enforcement. We've been looking at women participation in the coming elections, and important to note is let's support the women and maybe where possible remove these barriers that hinder them from participating, because if you well know that they do not have assets that they can go in the bank, if you well know they are not so much in employment, but still have these figures, high figures for them to contest. And finally, also mindset change, that even the few that make it to these places and want to compete, you'll still find that we have a mindset challenge, that someone simply says, how can a woman be in this position? No, how can a woman? The men, let's not discriminate people because of their gender. Let's allow them participate and judge them on performance best. Have a lovely day. May the good Lord bless you. See you tomorrow, God willing.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra. When you want